Okay, so it is 6:30, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody, and happy National Tennis Month. I am super excited to be here on tonight's webinar with you for the introduction to officiating. For those of you who live here in Northern California, in the Northern California section, my name is Jack Nielsen, and I am the officials recruitment and events coordinator here in Northern California. And I am joined tonight by Chris Wilson, who is the competition and officials coordinator, and we team up and we navigate anything relating to officiating here in Northern California and make sure that everything runs smoothly. Now, so for tonight's agenda, what we have is we're going to do a quick introduction to what officiating is, and then we're going to dive into the different officiating disciplines that there are, as well as review some of the benefits that there are in officiating, and then go over the certification requirements, as well as have a question and answer period. So we are going to start by playing a quick little video.
We are USTA officials.
The ultimate tennis experience begins with us.
We don't just make calls.
We make our sport fun and fair.
We don't just oversee the game.
We are ambassadors for the sport.
We teach.
We learn. We listen.
We lead.
Our diversity gives us strength.
Our mission unites us all.
Set the stage
For tennis
At its best.
Awesome. I love that. And then just another quick introduction, to what officials do is we are innovators, we are team members, we are educators, and we are role models. When we show up at tournaments, people look up to us, people go to us for help, and that's a privilege that we get to have. We ensure fair play for all participants, which helps tournaments run much smoother, as well as we teach the rules of games and their implementation. As well, I had a story. I was officiating for a match for these 10-year-olds, and they didn't know when to switch sides on a tiebreak, so I got to go over and kind of explain that. And that was just something really cool and simple that I was able to do that was very rewarding for me. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Chris to go ahead and talk about the different officiating rules.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to echo Jack and thank you for all joining us tonight for this Introduction to Officiating webinar. I have been an official for many years, and I just want to go over some of the different roles that are available as umpires. And these are all things that I have done before, and they're all very rewarding in their own way. So most of what you see out there on the courts as far as officiating, the most common type of officiating around the country is a roving umpire. There's also the referee, who's the head of the tournament. We have chair umpires, line umpires, and chief umpires. So the next slide, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of an explanation of each one. So as a roving umpire, that's what you usually see at junior and adult tournaments, at some of the league sectional events, and pretty much most tennis out there is handled by roving umpires. When you are a roving umpire, you'll have typically several courts that you're in charge of watching over. And you are there to maintain proper warm-up time and rest period times to make sure that the matches move according to the time guidelines to keep the tournament running as close to on time as possible. You'll also be in charge of making sure that the courts remain ready for play for the day, helping the players with any issues that come up on court, including resolving scoring disputes, line calls, controlling spectators if there's issues outside of the court. So those are all kind of things that you would be handling as a roving umpire over several courts. The referee is the head official for the tournament, and the referee supervises all aspects of play and is responsible for making sure that the competition is fair. The referee also has final authority on questions of tennis rules. So if a roving umpire or a chair umpire makes a decision on a ruling that the players don't agree with, they can ask for the referee to come to the court and resolve that issue. So basically, everything having to do with the actual playing of the tournament and conducting the draws is handled by the referee. Chair umpires oversee one match at a time. Final decision on questions of fact, such as line calls, touches, things like that. And the chair umpire also helps to ensure fair play. We use chair umpires. Obviously, you see them on TV on the professional matches, but roving and chair umpires are used frequently at collegiate matches, which is another great area to get involved in if you're going to become a USTA umpire. Line umpires, although you won't really see line umpires at most of the top level tournaments anymore, such as the US Open, Indian Wells, things like that. We still have a great need for line umpires at the pro circuit event, the futures and challengers that happen all over the US. So there is still a need for line umpires. The line umpire will oversee one line during a rotation and make all calls that come towards that line. And then finally, we have a chief umpire who is in charge of assigning and supervising the line umpires, chair umpires, and roving umpires at tournaments. Most of our local events will not have a chief umpire, but events that are bigger ones, such as some of the national tournaments and the professional tournaments, will use a chief umpire to take the load of working with the officiating team off of the referee. So because the referee has so many things that they're doing, so they will use a chief umpire for those duties. And we have a little bit of a collage of different officials working in different roles. So we have some chair umpires, roving umpires, and line umpires here doing their thing at certain events. And it's a great little collage of photos. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Jack to talk about the benefits of becoming an official.
Awesome, thank you. So there tends to sometimes be preconceived opinions about being official, but I'm here to talk about the great benefits of being one. First and foremost, the life skills, working through the problems of the players, communicating and being a leader isn't something that you get to work on every day, as well as the physical and mental engagement aspect of it, you get to be out in the sun, which I think is amazing. Game knowledge, you get to grow and deepen your knowledge and understanding of tennis. I learned so much just going through the officiating process and becoming one, and it's really deepened my knowledge. And then you get to take that knowledge and put it into the different players and educate them, and just kind of see those different results, as well as networking opportunities. I mean, you get to meet people from all walks of life. Something that I think is super awesome is tennis is such a global sport that you get to meet people from everywhere in all walks. As well as you get to contribute to the game that you love. You get to support the tennis community as well, which isn't something that you get to do every day. And then on the next slide, it looks like we have more benefits. So something that's super important is that the flexible schedule. This is part-time job opportunity, which makes it awesome for college kids, which makes it awesome for those who have a full-time job, which makes it awesome for those who don't have a job. Being that you get to choose whether you work 5 times a week or 5 times a year. It's all up to you, which is super awesome. And what's also super awesome is you get to choose what pace you go in the certification process, which is something that can help, you get to tailor all that to what's, whenever you have your free time. It's also a super fun way to earn some extra income. It's definitely a different way to earn extra income. Not everybody gets to be a sports official every day. As well as you're able to travel and adventure, we're looking at exploring opportunities with other sections such as Southern California, which I think is super cool, or, Pacific Northwest, where you're able to go to different places and be an official, as well as you just get unique experiences such as the best seat in the house. You're right there on the court and you get to watch some awesome tennis as you're officiating. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Chris to go over the steps needed to become certified.
Okay, so as it says here, the steps to become certified as a 10 official, they're pretty straightforward and flexible. They allow you to go at your own pace. There is not too much involved with going through the certification process. It's just a matter of how quickly you choose to go through it. So the first step, once this webinar is over, Jack will be sending out a follow-up email to everybody, which will have some links in it. And one link will be for our USTA officiating database called Officials First. And Officials First is where we go to track our certifications, enter our work record, make sure that our address and personal information is up to date. And it's basically the the epicenter of officiating as far as where you would go to look for things. Uh, Everybody that is an umpire has to be a USTA member. So if you are interested in becoming an official and you're not a USTA member yet, you would need to become a USTA member in order to be certified. We all of us also need to be Safe Play certified. Safe Play is a very important two-step process that helps ensure that that tennis at USTA events is a safe environment for all, especially any event where there are juniors that are playing. So everybody needs to be Safe Play certified. And then there are some online certification courses on our learning resource page that need to be completed. These are typical. If you were to go through each one, there's about I think five or six courses that you initially need to go through. You can go through them in one day. You can go through them in a week, however long you choose to do it, to take to go through them. Like we said before, it's at your own pace. They're not very long to go through. Once you do that, the final thing that you need to do in order to get your preliminary certification as a prospective official is have a vision form signed by an optometrist or ophthalmologist. We all have to have 20/20 vision. It can be corrected or uncorrected. Once that is completed, then we would set you up with an experienced official for a shadowing day. So you would go and shadow with an official. They will go over, a lot of the things in a more practical manner of what you need to do as an official, things that, you wouldn't necessarily get a great feeling for uh, in the certification module. So you'd complete one shadowing day, and then you would get set up with a knowledge check, which is either a phone call or a Zoom um, meeting with one of the national trainers who will ask some questions. We just want to make sure that you have the basic concepts of the rules and things that you need to make sure that you will succeed as an official. So once you have completed all of those steps, then the next step would be that you would be a certified official and you can go out and work on your own at tournaments in whichever capacity that you choose to pursue. Okay, Jack,
Awesome.
here you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So once you are certified, we do send you out a welcome kit, which contains all of the tools you need to be an official, such as just a measuring tape, a coin for flipping, a notepad, all of the rules and regulations in book form, as well as your uniform. And then, so once you have your uniform and everything, you're able to get on the court and start putting your skills to work and officiating at local tournaments. And then also just something that we have here is we're so fortunate here at Northern California to be able to offer continual learning. I mean, we do different webinars. We also host workshops so that we can continue to develop our officiating skills and become better tennis officials just kind of as we develop. And now actually we do have an official here on the webinar who has volunteered to kind of give us a little testimonial of his experience here as being a Northern California tennis official. So let me pass it on over to Vinod.
Hello, everybody. So as Jack mentioned, I am an official here. I'm relatively new. I started officiating in 2018, so got about 5 to 6 years of officiating under my belt. But I must say that it has been very, very rewarding. And I think some of the points were made earlier. What are the things that are really rewarding are, the ability or the the opportunity to travel to some of these locations where these matches are being held, the opportunity to be right on the court with the players. And imagine you're on the court with a player, and then a couple of years later, you're reading about that player being playing in the Grand Slam. So you could say that, hey, I was there on the court with that player. So it's really good. And I don't want to lose the fact, the whole officiating system, people, and as Jack mentioned, they're from all other walks of life. So you get to meet a wide range of people, and over time, you get to uh, you really feel like you're part of a family. You meet them at different places, you get to know what they're doing, you meet them again somewhere else, you catch up, and you start doing things together and stuff like that. So I would say that in addition to all the things about the tennis itself that really attracts people to it, there's this whole other aspect of it, which is the camaraderie and the familiarity and the familial aspects of it that are very, very rewarding. Now there are some challenges, and I think a lot of people enjoy those challenges as well. Being in the chair, you have to have quick wits, you have to be able to be diplomatic, you have to be prepared for situations that you might not have faced before. And all of those are also quite interesting. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, because you face some of those situations before. So all of them leads to a very rewarding kind of experience. And that's definitely been true in my case.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vinod, for that. We're going to go ahead and go to the next slide real quick. So now we want to go ahead and just open the chat up for any questions that you guys might have. One of the first questions I did see in the chat, which I think Chris or Vinod might be able to assist with, was about making it to the pros. Do you want to go ahead and touch up on that, Chris, about kind of upgrading as an official?
Sure. So one of the questions I saw was, is there a fast track to becoming a professional official? And I'm assuming what that means is like a chair umpire at the bigger pro events. I can say that there definitely is not a fast track. It can take years of hard work, working a lot, being seen by the right people, and having very high evaluations at some of the lower professional events. The ITF, ATP, and WTA have a tiered badge system, which goes white, bronze, silver, and gold badge. To become a white badge official, you would need to have a significant amount of work at some of the higher level USTA events, getting very strong evaluation grades from the national trainers and referees. And then you would apply for an ITF white badge school. After that, you would be able to do some lower level professional events, where you would again be working a lot towards getting invited to apply for a bronze badge school. And then you could start working internationally, doing some bigger professional matches. It's not a fast track, but it can be done. I mean, we have officials certified by the ITF every year. It's just a matter of how much you want to work, how much you want to travel, and just basically getting the work done to be at the level where you can do those matches.
Awesome, thank you. And then it looks like the next question we have is, how do I apply to officiate at a tournament once I am certified, or how can a tournament organizer find me if I am local?
Okay, so for local events, once you're certified, we're constantly looking at different ways to network better. Right now, usually either the head referee or the tournament director will hire their officials. One great thing to do when you get started with your shadowing day is to make sure you talk to the head referee of that tournament, because a lot of the referees work different tournaments for different tournament directors. And if you do a good job and that referee wants to hire you again, that's one way to get started. But then referees also talk amongst each other. We might get an email saying, "Hey, do you know if anybody's available for this tournament?" And so that referee might step up and say, "Hey, I just worked with this new official who did a really good job. You might want to give them a try." Officials First has everybody's contact information that you can find. Once you become certified, you can reach out to either myself or our section chair of officials, who is Carol Kim. And we can also try to help you network by, trying to find out what tournaments might be available where you could potentially work. But a lot of it is networking, making sure that you talk to the referees that you're working with, and that's a big part of it.
Awesome. And then it looks like another question I did see was if it costed money to become certified, and all of the courses and all of the certification courses are free. I will be sending links so that you can sign up and start taking those tomorrow. And then it looks like another question is, what is the financial outlay oh, no, that's the same question. The next one was just kind of, is travel/lodging paid for? Is there a per diem? How much is the salary for officiating?
Okay, so let me go back to the first one first about whether it costs money to become an official. So, um, actually, there's no membership dues for officiating. The only cost out of pocket is USTA membership and the vision exam. A lot of people have vision insurance. I know some people don't. Um, but so to get the vision exam done, you would need to, pay whatever your copay is for an eye exam, and then the USTA membership. Other than that, once you're certified, you get a uniform shirt. You can obviously purchase more if you'd like to. And then as far as once you're working, so as far as travel and lodging and per diem and things like that, it kind of depends on who you're working for. Some events pay mileage, some don't. As a roving umpire, you would typically be looking at the range right now is probably between like 175 and 225 per day, approximately, as a roving umpire. As a head referee, it's a little bit more. Um, if you go to an event as a chair umpire, the pay is usually about the same as what it is as a roving umpire, because a lot of times at USTA events, if you're there as a chair umpire, you're also working as a roving umpire during the day. So that's typically about where the pay rates are right now. And like I said, as far as other things, mileage, lodging, it just kind of depends on which event it is. Some tournament directors pay those things, some don't. But it's also very important to, when you are asked by either a referee or a tournament director to work an event, is to make sure that you ask what the conditions are before you accept the assignment, to make sure that you're happy with what you're receiving at that event.
Awesome. And then it looks like another question we had here was, what's the typical ramp? So meaning like like time it takes in each event to advance to the next level. So it looks like this question has like junior events, adults, college, etc., all the way up to pros. Like how much time do you need at each to kind of advance up?
Well, so for collegiate officiating is a separate certification through the ITA, although all ITA officials need to also be USTA certified. Um, what I would recommend is, if you're interested in doing collegiate work, is as soon as you can, once you become certified as an official, is to get to one of our chair umpire workshops, because a lot of the collegiate matches require um, some chair umpire experience. So get to one of the workshops, get a little bit of experience in the chair. And like we have workshops, we have the national ones. We're also looking at doing some chair umpire workshops on a sectional level, where you'd actually get real chair umpire experience at a USTA event. And then, you could start doing collegiate officiating pretty soon after you become certified as an official. Um, to do the professional stuff, like as a line umpire, you would want to go to one of the line umpire workshops, where we have, again, national and sectional workshops for line umpires. We have a few tournaments in Northern California on the pro circuit. Typically, we have a women's event in Berkeley, and then we have men's challengers in Fairfield and Tiburon. Usually, those are our, and then we have another smaller women's pro event up in Reading. So those are the pro events that we have in Northern California. Once you go to one of the line umpire workshops, if you feel comfortable and if the trainer feels comfortable, we would try to get you a spot for qualifying at one of those pro circuit events to get some on court experience, and then you can go from there. But again, it just it's there's not really a set time frame. It's more about how much you're available, how much you want to work, and you know, the quality of work that you put out, you know, how well you do at the workshops and at your first couple of events will really kind of dictate how quickly you can move into a bigger type of assignments.
Awesome. And then I do see a question about I see Santo. It looks like, how can I get the courses through my email? Just to touch on that. So you could actually currently right now, if you wanted to after this, go to the USTA.com page and just type in like USTA officiating, and there will have the links to all of these courses to begin your certification process. Tomorrow I will also be sending out an email just following up with all of the links to get you guys quickly to all of the courses. And then let's see, it looks like another question. Let's see. It looks like, will the incentive be electronic gift card? We will be sending those out because we with the t-shirts. So that you guys will be getting that with that. I know people have asked to show the QR code. I will be sending out an email tomorrow with the link so you guys can fill it out then as well. What's the duration of getting the incentive? It's to June, I believe it was Sunday, June 16th.
And Jack, I also see one speak more about the format of the classes to get certified. So
Oh yeah.
they're online courses. They're courses that you go at your own pace. They're not like live webinars. They're not recorded webinars. It's actually a module type lesson. So it's one of these where you can't just like skip to the end. You have to go through each page. It will let you, you know, it will let you know when you can go to the next page. And then at the end of each section, there is a quick knowledge check. And then at the end of each module, there is an assessment that you need to do, and then you would go on to the next one. So I think to get your initial certification, I believe there is an intro to officiating, and then there's rules and regulations part 1, 2, and 3, and then the roving umpire 1 and 2. Once you do those courses, then as long as you've gotten your vision form done and your safe play approval and your USTA membership, then you can go ahead and do your shadowing day. But you need to complete those online courses before you can do that. But they're not like live webinars. You don't have to be there at a specific time. You can do it whenever you want.
Okay, and then we'll do one more question. We'll just do this one real quick. So this one says, I'm a current LAC for USTA NorCal. Can I continue with that role as well as be an official too?
A league area, LAC, a league area coordinator. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Another similar question to that is sometimes people want to know if they can be an official when their kids are playing. And the answer generally is yes, you can. Obviously, you can't work as an official in any of your child's event. So, for example, if if you're working with a referee at an event and your kid is playing in the girls 16s, you can't have anything to do on court with anything in the girls 16s. But also, you also have to realize that typically when you work as an umpire, you're there for the whole day, and it's not always easy for the referee to accommodate, especially like if it's only a girls 16s event, you wouldn't be able to work that event. So you just want to make sure that you avoid any kind of perceived or actual conflicts of interest when working. So but yeah, as an LAC, you would be able to work as an official. If you are on a league team, you wouldn't be able to, officiate any matches that involves your team. But yeah, you could still.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, it is already a little past 7, so we will go ahead and close. My email is up here on the screen. Feel free to email me if you guys have any current questions as well that we didn't get to tonight. And thank you all for joining tonight. It's been a pleasure to be here with you all. Yeah, and I hope to be in contact with everybody so that we can get some more officials up here in Northern California. You guys all have a great night.
Thank you, everybody.